Hey, Cook Calling Chef Kendra here, and I'm excited. I love jelly donuts, and that's what we're making today. So let's do what we do and make it happen. We have flour, whole milk, vanilla extract, water, butter, sugars, salt, eggs, yeast, and oil. I have an all-natural strawberry spread I'm using. Now you can use spread, jelly, jam, grape, strawberry, mango, whatever. Alright, I'm going to start out by separating some egg whites from their yolks. No big deal. Now, don't throw away the whites because we're going to use some of the whites later. Here, I'm just taking some water, and the water is warm, about 105 degrees, and I'm adding some yeast to the mix. And this is 1 package of yeast. And I'm just going to sprinkle some sugar on it, just a little bit. Actually, the yeast will eat the sugar and it'll start to form up. You don't have to add the sugar, but I like to get things started. If you don't use the sugar, it's going to take a little longer for the yeast to form up. In my big bowl, I'm going to start out by adding some milk. The next thing I'm going to do in here is add some room temperature butter. It's not hot. This butter was a little melted. It was a little hot in the kitchen, but that's okay. I tossed in a little salt. I'm adding a little sugar. Next up is our egg yolk. I'm going to get that in there. Now I'm adding the flour. I'm going to add most of it here and save just a touch for a little bit later. Now look how foamy this is. It's nice. It has a nice froth on top and it's ready to go. So I'm just going to chuck that into the bowl. And again, this is active dry yeast. Put in a little vanilla. I grab my trusty hand mixer and I'm going to mix this up a little bit. I also added the rest of that flour. Once that comes together, I'm going to lightly knead it until it's smooth. I mean really, the lightest knead possible. And then I'm going to spray my bowl with a little oil. And then I'm going to form this gently into a ball and make sure a little oil is all over the ball. Not a lot of oil. I'm just misting here, and then I'm going to give it one little final shot of mist over the top, just like so. Now I'm going to put a tea towel or clean kitchen towel over our dough. We're going to let our dough rise for about an hour. Okay, we're going to move on to the next step. The next thing we're going to do is cut it in half, and then we're going to shape our dough. For this and other fine recipes, check out my website at chefkendra.weebly.com. That's chefkendra.weebly.com. You know I got you. I have a cutting board here, a rolling pin. Now I'm going to sprinkle a little flour onto the cutting board. Now I'm going to pull our dough in half. I'm not trying to be all rough with it, but I do need to get it pulled in half. Now I'm going to shape it a little bit. Go a little round, pat it down, get it to the size I need it to be. Sprinkled a little more flour right on top. And now I'm ready to roll it out. Now this recipe makes about 8 jelly donuts. Now, while that other dough is still sitting over there, you want to make sure you cover it up with the tea towel again. You don't want it to dry out while you're working with this one. There's no special way you have to do this, but I do like to get it about 1/4 inch. And I'm just using a random 2.5 to 3 inch cup to cut the donuts. Now I'm using strawberry spread. This is an all natural strawberry spread, but make sure you use a jelly, jam, or spread your family loves because it's a very important part of these donuts. So in the center of a couple, I put about a teaspoon of filling. I'm using those egg whites from earlier to wipe around the edges of the dough. And then I'm topping them and squeezing every little bit of the corners to make our jelly donuts. Now that's how we got the stuff inside. We didn't shoot it with a filler thing or use any special equipment. We just put it in there and we're squeezing the sides. These are homemade jelly donuts, and that's how you do it. The secret's out. It's pretty easy. So I'm just gonna fill all the donuts and set them aside. Just making sure you pinch the sides. All right, here we have our lovely donuts. Now we're gonna cover them again and we're gonna let them rise a second time. And we're gonna fill a pan. This is a really small pan. You use less oil that way. So we let the oil get up to about 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm gonna cook these donuts one and sometimes two at a time. I'm using 2 forks to turn them over, and you want to be careful not to splash any hot oil on you. I mean, this is really easy and it happens really quickly, but you still want to make sure you're safe and that you don't splatter oil all over yourself. The last step is to put them on a paper towel, but you want to dip them in some sugar while they're very warm. Not hot, but warm. You want the oil to be a little bit still on the top. That way, the sugar will stick to the donuts. Look at that. Oh my God, these are so good, guys. You gotta try this recipe. It's easy. Take your time, and you'll have success.
Oh, this is great. This is delicious.
Yo, share my videos and recipes, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when new videos are coming out. That's all for this time. I'll see you next time. Chef KENDRA'S out. Peace.